special interview segment this week, I spoke with the president of the Nigerian Union of Local Government Employees. He tells me what the union plans to do to ensure that workers' rights are protected. Join me. It's good to have you on the program.
Thank you very much. You're welcome.
A lot has been said about the sacked workers in Kaduna State. We're very much aware that more than 4,000 local government workers were sacked recently by the Kaduna State government. Was Nolge presidency carried along before this act was carried out?
Well, I want to say sincerely that Governor S. Rufai's approach to governance is different from other governors. This is somebody that lives in a different cloud entirely, because he believes so much in himself. He believes he's too intelligent, he's too smart, and he can get away with whatever he wants to do. And the truth is that Rufai is not connected with people, and that is why he cannot understand the feelings of the people when you talk of disengaging somebody from his work. And he also, sincerely, in my own assessment, lacks clear vision as a governor, what he wants to achieve, because governance is different from being in private sector. He is heading a public affairs now. He should be able to at least change from a private person to a public officer. In public administration, all you are doing is about people. It's not about interest. It's not about profit, But Rufai's approach, sincerely, is purely anti-people.
So are you saying that the union, that the state government did not carry the union along before this act was carried out?
He doesn't carry anybody along in whatever he's doing. Not only Nolge. He doesn't believe that other people are even human beings. That is Rufai for you.
So if you agree now that the state government did not follow due process before sacking these workers, are there any plans by Nolge to carry this matter to court? Are you taking this to court?
We are already in the court. Even before he start issuing the disengagement letter, we rush to court because we know the kind of person he is. Rufai is somebody that doesn't listen. When he governed Kaduna State with a mindset. Even before his election, he has a mindset on governance. So as you can see, he was there not because of the people of Kaduna State. So when we got the wind that he was planning to reorganize local government, we were not comfortable with that. At that stage, we quickly rushed to court, challenging the action, because workers deserve respect, because workers are not slaves. And we are in service under some conditions, laid down procedure and guidelines. And the process or the management of staffers in public service is guided by the provision of the scheme of service. We have a scheme of service of a local government.
From my observation, I spoke to some workers affected, and they tell me that they were paid 3 months in lieu of notice. Some of them said they were owed salaries before now, and some probably have taken loans from the bank. So they claim that the money that the government paid as payoff for them is money for work done.
Yeah, exactly.
So in other climes, if you want to sack people because they are redundant, there are processes that you have to follow. And if the government says they want them to go, most times they have a lump sum of money to start life all over again. What's your take on this?
What I want you to understand is that in all the entirety of what Kaduna State government is doing, is wicked. It's wickedness. Some of these workers, as you are trying to testify, based on your interaction with some of them, they have not been getting their salaries for some good number of months before this exercise came. Now you decided to disengage them on your own without recourse to the status books. And you quickly, because you think you are clever, trying to satisfy some of the prohibitions in the book, you abandon. The statute book you abandon when you want to disengage them. Because where did he get this issue of giving them 3 months in lieu of notice? It's from the scheme of service. Why did Erufai choose to use some part of the scheme of service of workers in disengaging them and not to use the other part of the scheme of service? The process and procedure for disengagement was not followed. You can only disengage workers based on their performance. But what he was saying was that he declares them surplus. And in the first place even, is Erufai the employer of local government workers? The issue is very clear, he's not. We have 2 categories of workers in local government. Because what we are practicing in Nigeria today is what we call unified local government service. And under unified local government service, we have 2 categories of workers. First categories are grade level 1 to 6, which are the prerogative of each individual local government to employ, based on the provisions as enshrined in the scheme of service. And one of the conditions must be that you have adequate provisions in your budget to employ. So the employer of grade level 1 to 6 are the individual local government. And they are not the one deciding their fate now. It's somebody somewhere that assumes the responsibility of others.
Which takes me back to the fight for local government autonomy. I know that there's been a lot of agitations from your end on the need for local government to be independent. With this experience in Kaduna, and also from my experience speaking with some of the disengaged workers, there's some of those workers that most of their jobs are being done by the state governments, which is not supposed to be done ideally, because there are provisions for them to have a workplace in the local government, and there are some duties that they have to carry out to ensure that there is enough development in the local government. So I would like to take you back to the fight for local government autonomy and why you think it's essential at this point for it to be gone.
Well, we have been going in almost everywhere in Nigeria, canvassing the support particularly of the legislators and other stakeholders to see how local government in Nigeria could be organized through constitutional amendment. Because the level of encroachment into the exclusive preserves of local government is killing the local government system. And to the extent, as workers in local government, we become so worried that simple service delivery we were employed to deliver, we could no longer deliver them. Not because we don't have the capacity to do it, but because somebody somewhere usurps the functions of local government to his advantage. And I also want to take you back a little. Erufai should also remember that during his campaign tour within Kaduna State, he was the first APC flag bearer that promised and assured his electorate that as soon as he was given the mandate, the first thing he will do is to ensure that local governments are free. And with what he is doing today, is he freeing local government or is he bastardizing them more? The issue is that he is bastardizing them. And if Erufai is saying he is doing what he is doing because the number of staff in Kaduna are much, what would you say about a state like Kebbi? Almost the same number of local government with Kaduna. And almost triple in number the number of local government workers.
There are no industries, there are no jobs, there are no factories. We know that Kaduna used to be a state whereby we have textile industry boom. What are your fears for these workers owing to the fact that you know that they will be out of job and there will be practically nothing for them to do?
That is why I told you Governor El-Rufai is very insensitive, because he failed to understand that disengaging workers in mass at this critical time of our economic crisis, where the country is wallowing in serious, security challenges, will never solve our problem. He should understand, as I said from the beginning, public governance is different from managing a private affairs. He's now a public officer. He must connect his thoughts with people he may consider as nothing. Those non-entities, he believes they don't have anything in their head. He must connect with them, because that is the essence of governance. And that is what he is missing in his head.
The Labour Act was not followed during this process. Would you say, as a leader, that you've protected the workers so far? If yes, if no, what are the plans to protect these workers? Because there might be more coming.
The truth is that the entire process is rejected by our union. There is nothing good about it in the pace of law. Socially, it lacks merit. And politically, it lacks merit. Because APC as a party promised Nigerians only three things: revamping the economy, and under revamping the economy, they assured Nigerians that they will create more jobs for them, not disengaging those that are already employed by the other parties.
So what is the union going to do to protect these workers? What are the steps that you want to take?
One, we are already in the courts, seeking for court intervention to redress this. Secondly, as a union, we are planning so many actions alongside with other unions that are affected under the umbrella of NLC and TUC. National Executive Council has already resolved and endorsed in totality the decision of the National Executive Council of NLC. And we agreed to mobilize in mass our members from 774 local government to Kaduna when the date was set aside.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
And that's all we can take on today's edition of Labor Lens. Join us next week for a fresh edition of the program. I am Sharon Ijason. Thanks for watching, and remember, labor creates wealth.